Welcome back to ArcheTAP. We are going to work on one of the kind of shadowiest of shadowy archetypes, the devil. Kind of break it down a little bit today. So this is the card that we're going to go over, the symbols and the universal weight. Let's see. Archetypes are defined as a compressed idea of many dimensions of meaning, imagery, and feeling. They resonate with really deep universal themes found in the unconscious of all human beings, regardless of genetics, race, conditioning, anything like that. And when you continuously contemplate an archetype and identify with a particular frequency, when you identify with a particular archetype, it has the capacity to transform your frequency. I'm going to get it together here any second and shift your state of consciousness from low to high. So every time we do any work like this, and my goal is to make it as fun as possible, even though we're dealing with heavier topics, it really is a collective approach. It's, we're helping ourselves, and everything that we do that helps us helps everyone else too. So I always like to pat myself on the back. We're doing the work. Okay. Let me get that guy out of the way. So, pardon me, some positive keywords surrounding this fella here. Powerful, magnetic, mysterious, instinctual, balanced. Some negative keywords associated with him: dangerous, prideful, materialistic, dark, controversial, addictive, probably, things like that. So while I've got it up here, let's just dive into, nope, that doesn't work, to some of the symbols that are in this card too. There's a lot going on. We've got this upside down pentagram up top. And then this character himself is like an old school, they call him Baphomet. He's got bat wings and goat horns, and he's half goat, half man. There's Reagan. Let's let her in really quick. And computer. 2 seconds. Hi, Reagan. We've got these bat wings back here. He's standing on this like black box, which is more like an altar. And then there's this ring with these chains going around these two guys. Really, this card is super similar to the Lovers, actually. These little demon guys. One has a tail that's like grapes, the female, and then one is more like fire. So this is probably like addictions to food and alcohol type of things. This is the fiery one. Oh, and then in this hand, that's right, he's got a torch that's like facing downward. And then he's given the Vulcan sign in that one. For all of you Star Trek nerds out there. Baphomet in general, part goat, part human. He represents the material world, our instincts, our base instincts, our lower level instincts. This black pillar, this altar that he is standing on, suggests that the material world can become an object that can accidentally get worshipped. And I think what's interesting about these chains, which are like anchoring these two to the material world, are that the chains are actually quite loose around their neck. So they could slip out of them if they wanted to. And this inverted pentagram above his head is just showing how spirit moves down into the 3D world. It's like spirit into matter. This dude is really all about matter in form and finding balance within it. This Vulcan symbol that he's giving, he's kind of mocking spiritual values with that symbol. And then, yeah, these two little devil guys, there's so many horns in here, are enslaved by their basic instincts. So letting fear rule their life, not even recognizing maybe that they're chained up or that they could easily get out. It sort of reminded me of like well, sad story, but like the elephants in India that don't understand, like they can just put a tiny little thing around their paw and they don't realize it, that they could just walk away type of deal like that. Like we do get into our animal instincts and we just go into fight or flight. We don't understand that we have a choice, I guess is the way to say that. Um, Other names for the devil: Satan, Lucifer, Baphomet, like I said earlier, temptation, just in general, that word temptation. And then sometimes he was considered old Pan, like the Greek mythology god Pan, who is also like the god of like drink and food and like merriment. Like he's often pictured really happy and kind of like, but could maybe trick you. So I thought that was interesting. Um, just the very basic teaching of this card is live with your feet on the ground and your head in the heavens. Like that's the basic teaching. It's finding balance in the middle path. From an astrological point of view, oh, another name for him was Janus. And Janus stands for doorway or gate, which I thought was really interesting. And is Januses were teachers in like ancient mystery schools. And so I kind of imagine like the teacher standing in the doorway, letting their students into the classroom, right? And the teacher would maybe know what lessons each student needs to learn and could maybe there is a little trickery or a little temptation or thoughts that get pushed in to kind of test the students to see like, are they picking up what they're putting down type of thing. Yeah, which is interesting because Janus is where we get the word January, and that's in Capricorn, and that is where the half goat, half man guy comes. And Capricorn is definitely the goat. In John Randolph Price's work, this is the angel of materiality and temptation. So this angel's working with us to reveal our own personal limitations so that we can refocus, understand that we have presence and power within us. And when it's blocked, it's usually because of a total focus on the effects and the fluctuations between like an overwhelming desire for things to manifest and then at the same time the fear of them not manifesting, and that kind of gets us stuck right there. Like we want all these things, but we've like really magnified and exaggerated that we might not get what we want. He's definitely one of the most misunderstood archetypes. I found myself nervous about posting about the devil. I've got some old clients that follow me, and I remember even saying out loud to one of them kind of before I retired from hair that I might be working in the tarot a little bit, and her eyes got super big and she was like, the tarot. And like and so I know she still follows me, and so when we got to this card specifically, I mean like Christian religion in general just has such a strong opinion about this archetype, you know, and a lot of fear around it, which I thought was interesting. So it was interesting that I like found that projection still, even though I've done so much work, and I don't really feel that way, you know, of like, I was like, oh, am I gonna lose people? Am I gonna trigger them, you know, or provoke them in a way that maybe they needed to be provoked? So this card is about, this archetype rather, is about carrying divine light. It embodies vigor, enthusiasm, passion, spontaneity, and deep desires of the flesh for new experiences. It's the power of the will to acknowledge the shadow state. It's animal instincts. It's, you know, accept them, control them, guide them towards a healing transformation type of energy, which we're going to talk about more in just a little bit too. he is the master of matter, like that when we talk about the angel of materiality, which is such a mouthful of a word. Um, this is what that's talking about. So it represents the journey to understanding our own profound nature, accepting all of our multidimensional aspects of ourselves. It's about facing all of our deep fears. And I liked this line, like assuming and enjoying our power. He really kind of has the potential to be the white wizard. So really a force of good. Ruling matter and spirit, this archetype is not afraid to seduce or charm or manipulate others to create impact. And it's all about healing and empowerment, though. It's never anything else, you know. The dark side of this archetype is that he can be just so overwhelmed with fear, consumed with desires, power hungry, that it can be really addictive, really destructive, really disempowering completely. And then like afraid of what it wants, you know, not wanting to own that it has desires even because, well, we'll get into it in a second. So let's discuss. It's easy to get caught up in condemning materiality. It's one of the dangers of the spiritual path, I think, because I think what we think is going to happen is that if we deny that we have any desires or that we like any material things or anything like that, that it'll like hurry us up along the path type of deal, you know, that from a spiritual perspective. But if we're denying the things of this world, that's not really an awakening, you know, like we're here for whatever fucking reason. So often what this looks like is kind of the space case hippie woo person that is always trying to escape from life, where nothing's really real, man. Not really, not out there. It's all just an illusion. It's just not, you know, and like, and it's usually followed by some kind of negative nonconformity, which isn't bad in and of itself, but it sort of renders that person useless to the collective when they're not willing to admit that we like, no, I mean, it's not real. It's a lot of empty space, this desk, but I'm here, you know, like it's here. Like, here we are in this life, you know? So what we want to come to understand is that we're all divine individuals of the light realm, but that we can't overlook the truth that we are in a physical incarnation on this earth to experience form. And it must be, because why else would we be here? It's to help us work off karma quickly, to accelerate our awakening process, and we're supposed to have fucking fun while we do it. We're really fucking this up. We are, simply put, spiritual beings in a very temporary physical form, living in a material world for the joy of it. For the joy of it. We're going to try to find our joy here. It's going to be a massive part of this tapping. And we just forget that last part. That last part just gets like knocked off the table. So if the devil has a message, this is the message. Live for the fun of it. Play more. Love more. Make more love. Hug, touch, kiss the ones that light you up in your life for the fun of it. Why look back with any regret that you didn't hug them enough or make enough love or kiss your partners or whatever? Hug your friends, like whatever. Giggle, laugh, be silly. Let's dance. Let's be fucking ridiculous like little children. For the fun of it, be gleeful. See the world as hilarious for the fun of it. Regardless of what may happen, and things are going to happen, Yeah, I know. We need to get you under the moon. It's a thing we could do. I bet all of us would be very happy to join you. Um, yeah, shit's gonna happen. So we might as well let it be as fun as it possibly can. So we want it, so the message is trust the power and the presence of the universe for the fun of it. It's not supposed to feel so scary to be so trusting. Um, we want to surrender because surrendering feels good for the fun of it. Do everything in life for the fun of it. So if we ever have a choice, it doesn't matter how mundane and basic the choice is. If you're trying to pick between this or that, which one feels more fun? Which one lights you up more? Which one is more exciting? Always choose the more exciting option. Always. And I'm trying to really get this into my head. It doesn't matter if I'm picking out toothpaste or if I'm, doing a dance, like I'm gonna pick the one that lights me up better. I love dancing hip hop. I'm probably not gonna pick ballet. That's just me. But and if spearmint makes me feel fucking excited when I look at it that time, that's the toothpaste I'm gonna pick out. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, like what is gonna excite you more? It needs to be the litmus test for like everything. So being in this world means more than just being ungrounded and oblivious to responsibilities, and like it certainly means more than chasing money and coins. It's also more than just like coping and hoping that shit's gonna be okay. It's more than just existing and then waiting for death or better times, to come. Like someday maybe something better is going to come along. It means being fully alive and living dynamically right now with interest, finding things that inspire you, find your sense of adventure again while you're in this body. We only have, I can't believe how fast it's going. These days fly by, it gets repetitive after a while, but then you're like, I'm going to miss my life if I don't, you know? So let's agree. We're spiritual beings in physical form with our feet on the ground and at least part of our head in the spiritual world. Part of us is in the 3D and part of us is flying in the fourth dimension. And we want to feel really solid in both of those as best we can. So I'm repeating myself a lot, but like we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. When I think about this, like most of us actually is in the fourth dimension. Like when we talk about from an Abraham Hicks point of view, and we talk about like the higher self and our inner self being in agreement, and that's what alignment feels like, and that's what the vortex feels like. It's these two dimensions really that are like in agreement with each other here. So most of us lives in the fourth dimension. We obviously aren't really aware of that part of ourselves right now. Only our mental body, our physical body, and our emotional body exist in the 3D, and they're still attached to each other. As I was working on this class, I like kind of had an idea for like a picture or a painting of what this might look like, of like two dimensions side by side and like how we cross over in between them and can exist in both at the same time. So our objective is to enjoy the physical plane existence without getting trapped in it, which it means we're here to live, laugh, love, as much as I like, sort of hate that like Hobby Lobby sign. We're supposed to be happy. We're without emotional bondage, without fear and guilt tripping us up, without greed and sorrow and feeling like we have to hoard all of our assets and things because we might lose them. Like it's all supposed to flow and come and go, and we're supposed to feel trust. And I wonder how long ago trust was sort of eradicated from the collective unconscious. It's a question for the Akashic records, maybe. So we're here to know all of these things while recognizing, like, I know nothing. To do anything and everything while understanding that I'm really doing nothing. That we're here to be materially satisfied, yet not spiritually complacent. To love right action without feeling like fanatical about it. Judging other people's decisions and choices. Like, I think it's probably good for us to have our own individual, personal, like 10 commandments type of thing that we live by with integrity, but then we don't beat ourselves up if we fuck up, you know, and we don't beat other people up if they fuck up too, because there is no real right or wrong. Not really. And to meet responsibility without overemphasizing personal duty. We're here to be in awe, to witness to the kingdom and the power and the glory of the God self, and that is appearing in form, and really give as little fucks as we can to any lower nature stuff, you know? Like, I know for me, it still trips me up so much that I still have a lot of guilt and shame to work through, although it's better probably than it's ever been. But I do really believe this. I do think that it's a difficult assignment. You know, like we are doing hard things, and that's why we get to have help along the way too. Like, this class hopefully is for me and you guys, and my mentors, for me, if like, if there's something I need to learn about, I probably need to ask for help. Is something that I've really recognized recently, that how could I expect myself to have all of the answers, to know how to do certain things that I've never been exposed to before, shit like that. So as best we can, we try to ignore the lower nature stuff. And I think the more we ignore it, the less it will bother us as we start to kind of feel more in alignment with where we're going. So the mystery schools taught that this angel was a tester. I sort of alluded to this a second ago. So he's kind of continuously monitoring and measuring the growth of consciousness. And as necessary, this archetype will sort of inject thoughts of like caution or discretion, to us into our minds, so that we stay on the path and don't go too far off. And also, if there is a particular learning experience that is necessary to like stimulate greater understanding of what we're doing, then the archetype may tempt you. To prove how ineffective control is, to prove how ineffective pride and guilt and trying to save everyone in the whole world is, that it's really just about our journey with ourselves. I thought that was interesting. I liked the idea of the devil being a doorway. Like, I liked that idea of it being a gate. And I think I study so much with the I Ching, and all of those translations are always doorways and gates. They're always a entry point into something else. So it makes it seem way fucking less scary the Christians have made it out to be. So, okay, let me take my jacket off here. We're gonna do a little tapping. So maybe drink a little water. It is hard to ask for help. I think that's a really common, yeah, I think it's common. I know that you said I know that other people feel the same way. It is, I think it gets easier though. I think it's like a muscle like anything that, if you practice and then it works out well, then it goes in the memory bank of wins of like, oh, remember that time I asked for help and it worked out so great? Like maybe it won't be so scary to ask for help the next time type of deal. Because we weren't meant to do this alone. We just really weren't. The devil is earth, and I actually appreciate those who follow leave it all on the table, a way to experience life fully without historical guilt. Yes, absolutely. Totally. Yeah. Material world. I know. We're gonna step into our power here. Okay. Tap it on the side of the hand. Big deep breath. Sometimes being in this world leaves me really ungrounded. I'm doing more coping and hoping than I'd like to be. I worry about my finances. And sometimes it feels like I'm just existing, just kind of waiting around for something better. So even though I don't always feel fully alive, or like I'm living as dynamically as I could be, I choose to deeply and completely love and accept myself. I choose to develop my sense of adventure. I choose to be inspired. And I choose to walk the middle path. I'm not always so good at staying grounded. Sometimes I feel like I'm just coping, hoping shit gets better. I want my life to feel like more than just existing. I'm ready to be fully alive. So if I'm in agreement that I am a spiritual being having a physical experience, then I better take this message to heart. I want to live for the fun of it. I want to play more. I choose to love more. I want to give as much affection as I can to the people that light up my life. I don't ever want to look back in regret. So I am choosing to laugh, giggle, and sing. For the fucking fun of it. I'm taking this message to heart. I choose to see the world as hilarious. Regardless of what may happen. And it's going to happen, whatever it is. I choose to trust in the power of the universe. I choose to surrender deeply. For the fun of it. I'm walking the middle path. I've got my feet on the ground. My head is in the heavens, at least most of the time. And I'm really balanced. So any condemnation I recognize is a danger to me. I choose to be delighted by earthly pleasures, but unattached to them. It's all just joyful fun. And it's really my mission to implant this idea as often as possible. Until it really sinks in. Until I really fucking believe it. And I see the evidence in my life that playing more works. That the more fun I have, the better it gets. I choose to understand that when I have a choice, the choice is always to pick the thing that lights me up. It's always my mission to choose the thing that is most exciting to me. Knowing that that's going to be different for everybody. And deep down, I know that with practice, this is going to become my baseline. And raising my baseline is huge. I choose to forgive myself for any past behaviors and just start fresh right now. Choosing fun, choosing love, choosing giggles, regardless of what may happen. for the fun of it. And so it is. Okay, so feeling relaxed? Feeling good? A little bit? All right, if you're gonna stay seated, just check in with your posture. Feet on the floor, hands resting on the tops of your thighs. If it feels comfortable for you, just let your eyelids close. We'll start to take a few breaths together before we jump in. Take a big, deep belly breath in through your nose. Then open your mouth, let it go. 2 more like that. Big, deep belly breath in through the nose. Audible exhale. Big breath in. Let it go. Seal your lips back off. And then inhale through your nose for 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top. Exhale through your nose for 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the bottom. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Press any last remaining bits of air out of the bottom of your lungs, and then big, deep belly breath in. One last time, open your mouth, let it go. Then seal your lips back off. Find a breath pace that feels right for you. And with each breath, allow yourself to sink deeper into relaxation. Every breath, you're more relaxed. In your mind's eye, see yourself standing at the top of a staircase. This staircase can appear to you in any form. It just feels safe and inviting. It could be made of wood, stone, or any material that resonates with you. Try to look around and notice as many details about it as you can. What's the banister like? The steps themselves. Are they deep or are they shallow? Do they make any noise? How do they feel underneath your feet? As you prepare to take your first step down, know that with each step, you'll feel more relaxed and at ease. Begin to descend the staircase now, moving to the first step. Feel the gentle descent, and with it, a wave of relaxation washes over you. Move to the second step. Feel yourself becoming even more relaxed. Releasing any tension in your muscles. Feeling lighter and more at peace. Continue this journey downward, step by step. Noticing how, with each step, you're descending deeper into a state of calm, your mind becoming quiet, your body feeling totally relaxed. When you reach the bottom of the staircase, you find yourself at the entrance to a beautiful garden. This garden is vibrant with color. So many different scents going on. Soothing sounds washing over you. Just take a moment to stand and look around at your surroundings. The lush greenery, the flowers in bloom. Maybe there are vines growing on the garden walls, if there are garden walls. Maybe you can hear a stream running. As you begin to walk along a pathway in this garden, I want you to turn the color up. Every step, pardon me, becomes more vibrant. You feel the softness of the grass beneath your feet. You can feel the sun on your face, on your skin. You can feel a really gentle breeze. As you walk along this path, it leads you to your favorite safe place. A space that is uniquely yours, where you feel completely at peace and protected. Take a moment to look around, to settle in, to really feel safety and security and comfort from this space. From a corner of this space, you see a bright light. And out of this light comes this archetype of the devil, this angel of materiality and temptation. This being radiates a very powerful but yet gentle light. You feel really confident as it approaches you. In your own words, express gratitude for guidance and protection that is provided by this archetype. Thank them for helping you to navigate the material world, for teaching you how to be in the world but not of it. For being a direct connection to the divine. You can choose to stay standing, or maybe some chairs appear and you both take a seat. But we're coming into the time period to ask this archetype some questions. So remind yourself that you can write them down in your mind's eye if you are worried at all about remembering the answers later. And then imagine folding the paper up and putting it in your left front pocket. I want you to ask the devil, what am I giving my power away to? What am I giving my power away to? How am I ready to be more free? What does more freedom look like for me? How am I ready to be more free? And or what does more freedom look like to me? Last question that I have for you. Is my desire for safety, comfort, and routine greater than my desire to be free? What does it look like if I am both safe and free? What does it look like if I am both safe and free? Answers to these questions could come through feelings, words, images, or sensations. You to really trust your process and the messages that are being shared with you. I'll leave you in the meditation. So if you have any other questions, now is your time to ask this archetype. When you've received the guidance that you sought, again, take a moment to thank him. Really feel gratitude in your heart for this unique connection. And then walk yourself back out of your safe space through the garden and back up the staircase to exit the meditation. And I will see you next week for the tower.